Oh, my darling. Happy birthday.
Dad, guess what? You know my friend Amanda?
Yep.
Her cousins asked us to spend vacation with them in Paris. I really, really want to go. Hi, Daddy.
You were supposed to call me when you land.
There's someone here.
What?
Oh my God, they got Amanda. They're coming.
All right, listen to me. Go to the next bedroom. Under the bed. Tell me when you're there.
I'm here.
Now, the next part is very important. They're going to take you. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. Where are they? If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it.
You have a 96-hour
What?
to never finding her.
No.
But if you don't, I will look for you. Where is she? I will find you. And I will kill you.
Good luck.
Ba-ba-ba-ba. This is year 7. That's right, year 7. This is year 7 of Movie Month. For 30 days, I'll watch 30 movies and do 30 podcasts. It's day 26.
Well, East Coast girls are hip. I really dig those styles.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Movie Month. It's day 26 of Movie Month 7, and today I went back in time, many years, to see a movie that I'd never seen, and when I told people I was watching it today, they're like, "You've never seen that? Are you kidding me?" And I said, "No, I'm not kidding you." And then they just kind of stared at me for like 10 minutes. It was weird. And then we walked away. We just separated. We were 6 feet apart. It was fine. Today, I saw the 2008 or 2009, depending on what country you're in, French film, French-American film, I guess you could say. I don't know. The Liam Neeson cult classic. Well, I wouldn't say cult classic, because it made money. Taken. What do you do when you take the guy from Star Wars, have him be the ex-husband of a woman from X-Men, and the father of a girl from Lost, and you throw them on an adventure of a lifetime? Taken. I mean, what do you say about Taken? This movie is like part of the film lexicon right now. Like, if you say, "I have a very certain set of skills that I've acquired over a long career," and he's like, "I don't know who you are, but if you let her go now, I will not pursue you. But if you don't let her go, I will find you, and I will kill you." I was like, okay, yep, I get it. Now, if you look at this movie on Rotten Tomatoes, it does not have a high rating. It's got the green splat. It's in the 50s. If you look at it on Metacritic, it doesn't have a great rating. But if you look at the CinemaScore gives it an A-, and the Rotten Tomatoes audience score gives it an 85%, which tells you that even though, quote-unquote, professional film critics were not too high on this movie, the public loved it. It was made for like $25 million, and in the States alone, and this was a French director, French writer. Most of it took place in France. It was, it made like $125 million in the States alone for the first one, and it spawned 2 sequels. And I was told multiple times, ignore the sequels. I couldn't even get through part 2. Ignore the sequels. I couldn't get to 3. I didn't even see 3. And look, I watched like 8 Conjuring movies last year. I am not one to ignore sequels. That being said, you're not going to see me seeing Taken 2 or Taken 3 this year. It may even happen, like out of June. But I can't not see them. I can't follow the further adventures of Brian. Flynn? Brian, whatever. Liam Neeson. I can't not know what comes next. Guess what comes next? More of the same, right? Isn't it like the second one? They kidnap his ex-wife and his daughter. And if they did that, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to save my daughter, ex-wife. You can kind of, good luck. Because they really made her very unlikable. I don't know if that's just Luc Besson's writing. I looked up Luc Besson. I said, what's he been doing? Oh, he made this movie. Oh, he directed this. Oh, he's been accused of 8 rapes. Oh, interesting. Luc Besson, great guy. Ooh, wonderful. I didn't even realize he wrote this. I had no idea that Luc Besson wrote this until today. That being said, who cares who wrote it? The movie was, how do I say this? It was very basic. Like it wasn't deep. It was very fulfilling. Like you want to see a guy go in and save his daughter and kill a lot of people, PG-13 style, so it's not overly violent or bloody or language-wise. This is the movie for you. Liam Neeson's great in it. He doesn't take no guff. Is it a great movie? It's tough to say. It's like, I enjoyed the hell out of it. And, but it was just very much like, easily digestible, I guess is the word you could say. It was like, here we go. Here's a guy. Let's just go through the plot really quick. Okay. We got this guy and, he's got these friends and, his friends are like, oh, he goes to he's just kind of known around the area. Hey, Brian, how are you? And he goes, excuse me. He goes to this electronics store and he picks up this karaoke machine and he's very meticulous on how he wraps the machine. Like he's very meticulous. So the guy is a stickler for details right off the bat. You can see that right away. And also he needs to very much impress his daughter. He goes to his daughter's birthday, and where does he go? He leaves his little apartment and goes to this big mansion. This big mansion where the daughter lives with her mother, Famke Janssen, and her stepfather, who I never remember his name, but I've seen him in a bunch of things. And really, whenever I see him, he seems to be a hard ass who's also usually a bad guy in some way. And I was expecting that to come, and it seemed like it was leading towards that, and then nothing came of it. And I'm kind of glad nothing came of it. It was like at one point I thought he's going to be behind the whole thing, but he's going to be inadvertently behind the whole thing, but that doesn't happen. So he goes to the birthday party, and she's like, what are you doing here? The kids' party's in here, and the adult party's in there. He's like, but I want to see my daughter. And then she shows up. He's like, Daddy, and runs up and hugs him. She's happy to see him. He's like, I got you this. It's a karaoke machine because you like to sing. And the mother's like, yeah, when she was 12. I was like, my God, she's being such a jerk. And she whispers, I still like to sing, Daddy. Just don't tell Mom. Because I don't know why. Then he's like, I'm so glad you liked it. I'm really glad to see you. I don't want to stay long. I just wanted to see my daughter. And then the stepdad's like, hey, look over here. And he comes out with a horse. Oh, my God. She puts down the karaoke machine and runs off to the horse. And the mother's like, my new husband's rich and he's better than you. And I think she was all upset about, well, actually, that didn't happen there. So he goes back to his apartment. He's like, I'm just going to stay home and cook dinner by myself. My daughter liked my gift, but it wasn't as good as Rich Man. And then all of a sudden, knock, knock, knock. Hey, buddy, it's your old war partners. hey, didn't you remember we were coming over? It's steak night. So it's a couple guys that I recognize. One guy I don't. John Reese or John Grease. I mean, come on, this guy was in Real Genius. This guy was in Monster Squad as the werewolf, and he's probably most known as Uncle Rico in the in Napoleon Dynamite. I was like, oh, awesome, he's in this. Yeah, for like 3 minutes. He's barely in this. They're there talking about, the old times. Remember the old times? We used to do this, we used to do that. And you left once to drive 9,000 miles to go to your daughter's birthday party. He's like, I'd do it again. And then they're like, listen, we have a job that we think you'd be interested in. It's really quick. It's some pop star. We just get her in the building, get her out the building. Easy. Once we get her in the building, she has her own security. That's all we do. He's like, I'll do it. And he's like, I gotta, because he wants to make money, I guess, for his daughter. So he's like, I'll do it, even though she's got a rich stepdad. So the next day they go and they're in the limo with this She-Ra, this fancy pop star kind of, the old Britney Spears type of thing. It's playing off that. This is 2008. So Britney is still very much in the public eye. She's still a big deal. Right, in 2008, the Britney, the Mandy Moore at the time, the Jessica Simpson, the Christina Aguilera. So they're kind of playing off that, and she's like, she's signing autographs, and the security guy's like, come on, we got to get in. Come on, we got in. She's like, this is what I do this for, or whatever. And then they have the concert, and then afterwards. He's like, wait, before you go on stage, can I ask you something? My daughter wants to be a singer. Can I have some advice? She's like, pick another career. And I don't think she wasn't being a jerk. I think she was more being like, this career is too hard. So after the concert, they're trying to get her out, and the crowd rushes, and some people get out, and some guy just shows up with a knife to try to attack her. Nothing is ever explained or talked about. This is no tie-in with anything else. It's just there's a guy who shows up to attack this pop star. What is it? Sprinklers going off? Yeah. And Liam Neeson's like, not so fast, buddy. Boom, karate, chop this, that, bam, bam, break this, boom, choke this guy, bam, boom, boom, get it to the truck. And then he runs into the truck. She gets in. She's freaking out. She's crying. And, he's a dad. So he just puts his head on her shoulder. It's like, it's all right. It's all right. And brings her back. And she's like, your daughter wants to be a singer, huh? She gives him a card. She goes, he goes, I'll help you with anything you could do. Now she's like, she loves this guy because he saved her life. She's like, if you, give a call to my manager and to my producer, and if she's got the goods, they'll help her. They'll help her. He's like, thank you very much. So he's going to meet her so then he goes home and tells his friends, maybe it was before that. He's like, my daughter called. She wants to have lunch, just the two of us tomorrow. Great. Good for you, Brian. He goes to lunch with her and gets her a sundae, which also looks like, I got you your favorite that she probably liked when she was a little kid. And Famke Janssen's there, and she's more of a jerk. And the reason they really did this was they needed to ask his permission to sign a permission slip so she could fly overseas with her friend into France. Because they're going to France to go to museums. Museums, we're going to barely go anywhere. We're going to be in museums. It's going to be fine. He does not like the idea. He is very... He's very protective and very nervous about traveling overseas at this age. She's like, she's going to be with her cousins. It's going to be fine. We're going to be staying with them, not in hotels. It's like, and then he's like, I don't like this. I don't think this is a good idea. I'll have to think about it. And she's all upset, and she runs off before he gets to give her the card about the singer. So she's being a kid. She's being a brat. 17 years old. The wife is like, why can't you just do this and sign the papers? And she's like, you didn't care enough while you were there before. Now you're trying to make up for lost time. So Famke Janssen's a real jerk about it. So then he thinks about it a little more, and he goes back the next day. He's like, listen, I'll let you go if you follow these rules. You got to call me every day. You got to call me when you land. Here's an international phone. It has my number programmed in it. You have to let me know how you're doing. You know, all these rules, blah, blah, blah. She's like, yes, Daddy, thank you, Daddy, 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 Daddy. They really play it up for her to be like the little kid. Like she wears shirts with hearts on them. Like just they make her a child. Now, she's already on Lost during this time. She's not 17 years old. Okay, she's with Saeed on Lost. She was like kind of the bitchy sister on Lost, and then, you know, she grew a heart of gold. Because not everything... I could talk about Lost for about an hour right now, but I'm not going to. So he's like, fine, and I get to drive you to the airport. She's like, fine, okay. So he drives her to the airport, and then Famke Janssen's also there to meet them. And she gets out, she goes, there's my friend Amanda. She runs up, hey, Amanda. And it's Katie Cassidy from Arrow. And I'm like, right away I recognize her. But again, this is 12 years ago. She's like a kid. She's like, yay. And he's like, I'll get your luggage. Grabs the luggage and looks. And there's a map. Because, again, this is 2008 when this film came out in France. And there's a map. Not a GPS, not a phone. There's no smartphones in this. And all these things are circled. Not just France, but all over the place. And he looks at Famke and he's like, what is this? This isn't France. They're going all over the place. And she's like, what about these museums? She goes, oh, Brian, you know, kids are going to do these things. They're actually going to travel Europe to follow U2. And that was the first thing that really felt dated. Like, look, U2 is one of the biggest bands in the world, okay? And I feel like they're huge for people my age, okay? 40s, 50s, maybe 30s. So right now, this is 2008, right? We're saying this film came out in France. She's 17. So she would be close to 30 now. I can't see a 30-year-old following. That still seems young then to be following U2. But maybe, I guess, U2 was still big. Well, U2 is still big then. But I just can't see a 17-year-old in 2008 being like, yeah, go, Adam and Bono and Larry and The Edge. That was the most unbelievable part of the whole thing, that the 17-year-old, even in 2008, was following U2. Maybe that's me. I don't know. But just following anybody. It just felt, maybe that's Luc Besson just like saying, oh, of course, they're going to follow you too. They're the biggest band in the world. That's my Luc Besson. I don't even know if that was French. So she flies away to France, and he's just sitting by the phone. He's like, when is she going to call me? Oh, she hasn't let me check my messages. Nothing. And they land, and she was supposed to call right when they land. She didn't. They are outside waiting for a cab, and this guy's like, hey, American women, I wish they all could be California, because they say, we're from California. It's like, cool. You want to share a taxi? Hey, awesome. Oh, and he knows exactly. He goes with them where they get dropped off. And I think she actually makes a comment like, oh, they're not here. We have the whole 5th floor. So he knows all these things. They're telling this guy all these things. He's like, you want to go to a party tonight? Yes. Now, I don't know why he even said that, because it didn't even wait that long. He walks away, makes a phone call, and he's like, we have 2 American women ready on the 5th floor of this building. And then they go in the house. At this point, no one's there. She didn't even know that. So what was her name? Emily in the movie? But Maggie Grace was lied to by her friend. And, you know, but they make her like the bad girl. Like, she's like, I lied this, I lied that. I'm totally going to sleep with that guy. Like, they do all these things that just, I don't know. It's just, I picture Luc Besson writing this down. This is good. This is great stuff. All right. And then finally they're playing music, and she's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom, or she's walking around. She sees the phone ring. She missed a call. She finally picks up on her dad and talking to her dad, and she goes in the other room. Now, this place is big, so she can walk around into another room and see. They have the whole 5th floor, so she could see into the other like part of the house, and she can see her friend dancing around. She's like, yeah, Daddy. She goes, okay. He goes, where are they? What's the phone number there? He goes, I don't know, Daddy. We'll put on the cousins. I'll talk to them. Oh, they're not here right now. Oh, they're in Spain, Daddy. What do you mean they're in Spain? I didn't know. He goes, you have to. He goes, we're just going to be a museum. He goes, oh no, she knew that we weren't going to museums already. But she basically lied to him about all these things. Well, at least about the museums and stuff. And She's like, I don't know, Daddy, I don't know. And then she looks, oh my God, someone's here. Like right away, boom, let's jump right into this. No more waiting around. These two guys go and they kidnap the friend, and she's viewing this from the bathroom, and she's on the phone with Liam Neeson. He's like, listen, I need to tell you. And he's calm as hell. He's like, all right, listen, I got to tell you something. They're going to take you. So go into the other room and hide under the bed. Keep the phone on. She's like, oh, oh, oh. He's like, listen, when they come and take you, you need to tell me everything, scream as loud as you can, everything about them, their height, their weight, any characteristics. So she's like, she can hear them come in. He goes, they're coming in. And they come in, they walk away, and then boom, someone grabs her from under the bed. She starts screaming, 6 foot something, tattoo, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't quite make it out. But he got all this information, and he's recording this. He took his phone out, plugged it into this other recorder, all this wiring stuff that really nowadays, like, you feel like you could do an app with an app. So he gets all this information, and then he waits, and then someone picks up the phone. He's like, and you hear, and Liam Neeson's like, I don't have any money. So if you're looking for ransom, I don't have any money. But what I do have are skills. Skills that I've achieved over a long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for men like you. So I feel like the whole movie was this monologue, this little speech. I feel like someone came up with this speech and then said, we're going to make a movie about this guy who has a particular set of skills. And that, like, is the famous moment. He's like, I will find you and I will kill you. And I was like, we'll find them and he will kill them. So I was like, great, let's get all the pretense out of the way. It's time for Liam Neeson to start finding these people and killing them. And it takes a little while for him to, like, find stuff. But he knows what he's doing. So he calls Famke and he's like, she's been taken. You know, I think they kept saying taken. It's like, that's the name of the movie. She's been taken. And taken, you say? Taken. And she's like, why? You know, and I feel like, look, you wanted her to go. I didn't want her to go. You got to live with it, Famke Janssen. I'm going to the movies with my friends. Good luck. Tell me how it goes. Like, part of me is like, obviously he's a good guy and it's his daughter. You wouldn't do that. But I want him to be like, I told you, you jerk. And then the father, he yells at the stepfather, is like, do you have any enemies? Why would I have enemies? Because you have all these, you know, illegal holding companies and these little shell corporations. He knows all about him. It's like, you seem to be doing your research on me. I will research anybody who's going to be in my daughter's life. Do you have any enemies? No, not that I know of. And that's the end of it. I thought he was going to be tied in more. That's the end of it. He's like, listen, I know you have a Learjet, you know, executive jet privileges to this shell corporation. You're going to book me on a flight to France. When? 1 hour ago. He's like, oh, I got to get there right away. So he's on the plane, and he sends the recording to one of his friends from the service, and he's like analyzing it. He's like, oh, this is was it Latvian, I think, and he sounds like from this dialect. He's from this specific neighborhood. I'm like, my God, like they know these things, and but they're in France now. So they showed up at France, and so he's like, I'm going to France. I'm going to get them. And he just listens to the recording over and over, like over and over and over. And the guy's like, good luck, good luck, good luck. Because the guy said to him to find him, good luck. So he knew that voice. He knew that good luck. And, it comes back. So he gets to France. He goes to the airport because he figured this is, he goes and he goes to the house first. And for some reason, he crawls outside. I think it was to break into the apartment. I really am not sure why he crawled outside. I really don't know. Unless one part was locked. I don't know. But he crawls outside, goes back in. Then he goes and he kind of figures out that's the bathroom that they were calling from. And then he's like, wait, I told her to go in the bedroom. So he goes in the bedroom, looks under the bed, looks around, finds her smashed phone, but sees a little SD card in it. Takes the SD card down to a place where he can look at photos, and he sees all these photos of her, and he sees one photo where they're both in it, so someone took the photo. So this is 2008, and this is still at the time where you could be like, zoom and enhance. I don't think this technology would exist on a cell phone, unless, of course, this international phone he gave them was amazing. But again, this is before smartphones, so the picture was actually better than I think it should have been. He zooms in on it, and you see someone taking the photo, and he hits the button process, and it makes like almost a perfect version of the guy in a reflection. He's like, oh, that's my guy. I'm going to go to the airport and find him. So we go to the airport now, and we see the same guy working the same thing. We see a blonde lady come off the plane. He's like, and I see a guy nod at him, and he gives us one look of like, almost like he doesn't like doing it. But then he goes and follows the girl and does the same thing. He's like, hey, are you new here? Oh, cool. Taxis are very expensive. Would you like to share one? Yes, I would. So she goes to get in the taxi, and Liam Neeson's like, no, you don't. He goes in the taxi, starts beating the crap out of this guy. He's like, where's this girl? Where's this girl? Would you find her? Would you find her? And he gives a little information away, but not a lot of information away. And then the guy gets out and starts running away. Liam Neeson chases him. He ends up jumping onto a truck off a bridge. And, of course, in the classic action movie, he's on this road looking up like, I got away. Bam! Gets run over by a truck because I guess the truck driver wasn't looking and didn't see this guy in front of him, so he runs him over. I don't know. I don't care. This guy's dead. His only lead is dead. Now, that's not true because there's another guy back at the place who gave the nod. He never comes up again. We never see him again. So Liam Neeson finds this French dude who used to be a police officer. Now he's some sort of inspector, has a desk job, but they have a connection. They talk, and he says, I'm here because they took my daughter. Who are these people? And they're like the Latvians. They came in, only 10 or 20 of them. Now there are hundreds of them. I don't even know what they want, but they go. They congregate here, and so he's like, all right. So he's like, it's where I'm going to go. So he goes, and he tells this guy, he's like, listen, you shouldn't be doing this. You should leave it to the professionals. And he's like, I only have 93 hours to do this. Because his friend said, look, usually it's 93 hours. By then, you're never going to get her back. Now, the guy says this, and they're like, now we have an actual ticking clock. Well, he said 93 hours, so it must be 93 hours. I feel like I'm tearing this movie apart. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I think I get why it didn't get high critic reviews, because the things I'm saying right now make it seem like I'm ripping it apart, but I'm not. This is a classic, right? It is, right? So he... It is. So he's like, I'm sure. Okay, I have to be honest with you. I just finished it before I started talking to you, but that was the last 15 minutes. I watched the first hour and 25 minutes this morning. Then I had to bail because we had to leave while bug spray was getting done. So we bailed, and we were gone all day. Now we're back, and I finished it. So I may be a little out of order of how things happened, but he goes to this. I know what he does. So he knows that these girls get turned into the guys, like, they turn them into druggies, addicted to drugs, and they turn them on the streets, prostitutes. And he says it's in front of Famke, and she's like, meh. So they then go to, okay, so then they, he drives up, and this guy's like, hello? He's like, I'm here. You're a translator? Yes, get in. They go to some prostitutes, and he starts talking to this girl, just trying to get information. Really not trying to get any information, just trying to get her upset so that that someone would come over, one of the pimps or whatever you call them, would come over and rough up Liam Neeson so he can be like, bloop, I'm going to put a little tracker on you, a little bug. Goes back to the car, and the guy's like, what am I translating? And he's like, this is what you're translating. So he turns on the bug, and there's a few translations, and the guy's like, eggs and this and that. And then they say the construction site, because there's more stuff happening at the construction site. There's a lot. Okay, so there's like something going on at the construction site. That's where some of these bad guys are, okay? So he, right? Wait, where am I? I feel like I'm all... Oh, no. Construction site gets you to the red door. The red door gets you to the big party. Big party gets you to the boat, right? Okay. All right. You've seen the movie. It's 12 years old. So he goes to the... What does he do here? He goes through the construction site first, right? And there's some fighting and killing and chasing, and I think this is where he starts looking for girls. Am I right? And, oh, wait. No, I keep thinking the guy he electrocutes talks about. Okay, so he goes to this one place first. And he beats up all these dudes, right? Oh, man. Okay, first he shows up at the Lithuanian's place, I think. Dude, I'm all over the place. I know he shows up at one place, and he pretends to be part of the inspector, and he pretends to be in on these with these bad guys, right? And he's like, I'm here to collect. You guys keep doing all these things. You think you're going to get away with it, but I'm here to collect. So he starts talking to them, trying to get more information about them, the girls, blah, 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 blah. Then he's like, here, I have this. Could you translate this for me? And the guy reads it and he goes, good luck. And he's like, could you say that again? He goes, good luck. And Liam Neeson looks right at him and he goes, you don't remember me, do you? I talked to you 2 days ago. You took my daughter. And then Liam Neeson karates them and shoots them and kills them all. And that was a very, very cool scene. Boom, bam, boom, boom, bam, boom. Karate chop, punch, kick, knife, shoot, dead, boom. One guy gets away, or one guy lives. He chases him down, ties him up, hooks up these this electricity, like little jumper cables to him, and electrocutes him into getting information about a construction site. Okay? Right? Yes. So he gets this information about this construction site, and then he goes to the construction site, and there's more karate punching and saving going on. I feel like I know I'm missing something. Who cares? And he, more karate punching, more heroics. He ends up taking this truck, this, and he saves a girl. So he starts going through all these rooms that are just curtains, and he's pushing them open, and it's basically it's like where they have this little brothel, and he sees his daughter's jacket, and he thinks it's his daughter, and it looks kind of like her, and I didn't, until he says, I was like, oh my God, he found her already? And then he goes, do you know where you found this jacket? I go, oh, it's someone else. So he takes the girl, steals her and the jacket, gets out, drives this truck through the construction site, gets away, hides back at this hotel that he has connections with, and somehow he has an IV that he puts to this girl. He hooks up an IV to this girl to bring her back to health, to nurse her back to health. He's studying Lithuanian a little more, or Latvian, or whatever the hell it is, and then the girl finally awakes and she's freaked out. He goes, no, I'm a friend, I'm good, I'm trying to help you. They took my daughter. Do you know her? Do you know this girl? She gave you this jacket. Oh, she was a friend. She was very nice to me. She very good. I don't know. She had some sort of accent, a French accent or something. And he's like, where did they take her? And they're like, to the room. Is that what she says? The building with the red door, to paradise. And they're like, wait, I feel like I am all over the place. Right? I don't know. But maybe the red door is where... Wait. The red door is another brothel. And, okay, so then he's karate chopping and fighting through there. And he just kind of walks right in. Maybe that's where he poses as the guy who's there to take the bribes. I don't know. Who knows? But at one place, he goes in and there's Katie Cassidy dead. And you see she's got like vomit around her, so they must have drugged her enough that she, OD'd. And it's like, oh no, Amanda. Okay, never mentioned again. This girl's best friend went with Maggie Grace to Paris, died, and never mentioned again. We don't see like she gets off the plane and when she's saved and sees the parents. Nothing. Everything's fine. But I like this movie, right? Yes, I liked this movie. So, some of these things you just got to deal with. You just got to take. Okay, so this girl's never mentioned again. He never even brings her up. She never even asks about her. Where's Amanda? I'm sorry. No. Nope. Maybe it was filmed, but they cut it. They said, you know what? We don't need any emotion. Let's get rid of this. So maybe they go in that building and they tell them there's a she's not here. Where is she? Where'd they take her? They're selling her. What do you mean they're selling her? They selling her. So now they have this high-stakes auction with all these rich people where they sell off the top-end girls. Now, at one point, he goes to his police friend's house, or the former police friend's house, and this guy's like, you should turn yourself in. At one point, he wanted to turn himself in, and he had the police trying to get him. Another point, he shows up at the house, shoots the wife in the arm, hits him over the head, and I could not tell you what he got out of that. It was something. I know it was something. I think it was maybe where the party is held, where the rich people have the party. It must be. I don't know. But anyway, he ends up at this party, and he goes. He's like sneaks in, and he goes up to where he just kind of breaks into one of the. Oh, he pretends to be like a waiter to deliver something to one of these rooms, and it's all these, all these guys in tuxedos with these buttons, and they're bidding on women, 100,000. They bid. They press these buttons, and they're behind two-way glass, so they're anonymous, and it's like these rich. It looks like oil people, right? Like it's all the Middle Eastern guys, and they're like bidding on this girl, and then Liam Neeson comes in and like puts a gun on this guy, and he's like, bid on her, because all of a sudden the daughter comes out. He's like, bid on her, bid higher, and then he's bidding himself, and this guy wins her, so now he can get her, his daughter. That's my daughter. You bid on her, and so they make a few $100,000. So I mean that still happens, but then he gets conked on the head, and they're like. He's tied up, and we see the guy who runs the whole thing. I guess he's one of the main bad guys, and he seems like he's American, and he's like, what are you doing? This is my business. It's just business. It's not personal. It's just business. And I feel like in another movie I just said, for me, it's personal. This just happened in another movie. And they tie him up to a pipe, and they're about to kill him, and he pulls the pipe out, and he hits a guy, and he kills another guy, and the other guy gets pipe steam in his face. Bing, bang, boom, kills these guys, tracks the other guy down. He's like, whoa, it's just business. He's like, where are they? Where is she? She's gone. They already took her. There's a boat leaving now. He knows exactly when the boat is leaving. So he's like, great, thanks. Boom, shoots this guy. He's like, I am a family too. He's like, I don't care. Bam, shoots you, guy. And then he's like, I'm going to get this boat down at this pier. That's where my daughter is. So he chases the boat down. And the boat's leaving. So he's like, oh, no. So he breaks into this car or steals a car. Or, there's a driver there. He conks him on the head, takes the car. Now, the boat is on this river that has bridges over it. So he races through this traffic on this way, that way. Bing, bang, boom, bing, boom. Gets through, catches up onto a bridge while the thing is going over. He gets out of the car, jumps off the bridge onto the boat. Chokes this one guy out, and he just takes everybody out, including the guy that helped bid. That's like the big fight, one of the big fights at the end. He puts a wine bottle through this guy. Just kind of does all his stuff. He uses his particular set of skills, and then he opens a door, and there's the sheik holding the daughter, because now the sheik knows that which one is. He's like, there's one of the girl's fathers is here. Now, I would think they would just say, let's just kill her. And that, but instead this guy holds a knife to the girl, and Liam Neeson holds the gun and she holds the knife. He holds the knife, and he looks away, and he's like, we can negotiate. And before he even gets to finish, Liam Neeson goes, boom, right in the brain. But again, you don't see that because it's PG-13. So he shoots him, he falls down, and he's dead. And she's like, Daddy, you came for me. He's like, I told you I would. You came for me. Oh, and they hug. And then we see them in California, and they're coming off the plane, and she's, yay, I'm so happy. Now, we don't see the years of therapy that must be coming for what she had to go through, but yay, we're so happy. And she hugs the dad. She hugs her mom. She hugs the stepdad. He's like, I'm so happy here. I'm so happy. Brian, thank you. Anything you need, thank you. He's like, I'm all right. I have everything I need. And he's like, and so this guy, I guess he's got some dealings that aren't so great, but he's not a bad guy. Okay, fine. I guess. We'll see if he's back in the second one next year. I'm not doing it this year. It's just not happening. So he's like, you sure you don't want to ride with us home? He goes, no, I'll take a taxi. I'm fine. Famke, it's like, thank you so much. Gives him a hug. And I'd be like, yeah, whatever. You're a real jerk to me. But instead, he closes his eyes. He's like, oh, I still want your embrace. You are still the love of my life. Lenny, whatever. And then we're like, I'm thinking, oh, something's going to happen here. There's going to be like another button for a sequel, but they didn't know what this was going to be. I read Liam Neeson thought this was going to just be a bomb. He gets to go to Paris, cool, shoot a movie. Instead, it kind of reinvented his career. And next thing you know, we see a doorbell, and we open the door, and it's the pop star from the beginning, and he's there with his daughter. He goes, I told you it'd be a surprise. And she's like, oh. He goes, she's like, I hear you want to sing. Yes, I do. Well, come on in. We'll come on in. We'll see what you got. And she's like, and I think he smiles and everything's happy, and that's the end. I enjoyed this movie. I think I expected more. I feel like maybe I don't know. I feel like maybe, like, here's the thing. When I saw John Wick, I wasn't expecting much. And I heard good things about it, and then I watched it, and I was blown away, and then blown away, and then blown away for a third time. This time, I watched it, and I'm like, this is cool. But it was, maybe because it was PG-13, it was very, I know superficial isn't the right word, but it was very simple. Very just on the level. You know, I think maybe, I don't want to compare it to John Wick, because John Wick was over a dog, and that's much more tragic than a daughter. Coming from a guy who has no children, but a dog. A beagle, too, like John Wick, so don't F with me. But then they also created this whole world with, these weird coins and this assassination of society, all these things. Where in Taken, they created some level, like some character development with this guy. He had some kind of job where he was a preventer. That was cool. And he had some ties with certain people in France. He has some ties with this guy in this motel. But really, he's there to just kick ass and get his daughter back. I feel like it's just been it's been done better. I hate to say this. Like Man on Fire, I love that movie, or John Wick, again, different, but and it's also been done worse or differently, or more violently, because I watched Last Blood like a couple weeks ago, and I feel like Sly was watching this going, hey, what if I did this in Mexico with more violence, with Rambo, and more the girl dies? Because I feel like Sly took this idea and said, I could do that, kinda, with Rambo. Because it was The Last Blood was very much like Taken meets Rambo. And I didn't know that going in. Like, I didn't know that's what this was. But, it's the same kind of thing where the kid goes somewhere, she gets kidnapped into a life of prostitution and drugs, and then the hero comes to save the day. Where in the rated R one, they find out that John Rambo is doing this, and they say, fine, we're going to get her more hooked on drugs, make her even worse, to the point where she doesn't even survive. Where in this one, they're like, he's here. He goes, we can negotiate. Boom, dead. Much more simpler. I still like this movie, and I'm still going to watch the sequels, and it was still fun. I guess I'm just poking holes because I'm seeing holes, or I'm being more critical than I thought I would be. I'm talking through, and while I'm talking it through, I'm like, wait a second, what is this? But I still enjoyed it, Christopher. I still enjoyed it. Okay, but I understand why, when you see the Rotten Tomatoes score, why that might have happened. But I still enjoyed it for what it was. I don't know. That seems like, I feel like I'm really putting it down. And I feel like maybe because it's been 12 years and I've seen these things done in other ways. Maybe if I saw this 12 years ago, I would have been like blown away. I don't know. I do like little things like the fact that this is before the iPhone came out. So there is no one staring down at their device. There's no social media. There's none of this. This is a different world where you can't easily just track anyone anywhere. But I still enjoyed this movie. I'm still saying it. It was still a good movie. Right? Yeah, it was. I'm done. I'm done talking about this. I'm glad I saw it. It is a classic for Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson was great in it. Liam Neeson was great in it when he showed up at the dinner, when he showed up at one of my favorite scenes is when he's kind of doing the whole thing where he's he's trying to be the guy who does the kickbacks. He's like, we're here. I want 20% more. I have these satellites looking down at you guys. I enjoyed that scene a lot. And of course, the speeches. The speeches are the best. And just that, it was like, it is an iconic shot of like, you're looking up at him, it's dark, you see his eyes, and he's like, I will find you, and I will kill you. And I was like, ooh, when he said that, I got a little, even though I knew about that particular set of skills, I don't think I've heard the speech all the way through. So you do get a little like, ooh, a little like goosebumps with that one. But yeah, that's it. Taken. Done. I did it. I watched it. I enjoyed it. But, I calls it as I sees it. And good, enjoyable, not great. Sorry. I'm done. Listen, you can find, and I don't care what you say. That's my thoughts. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Geek Mentality. You can find me on Facebook at Fans Not Experts. The website is fansnotexperts.com. The podcast is Geek Mentality. We're available everywhere podcasts are available. Okay? So 26 days down, 26 movies down, 4 more to go. 27, 28, 29, 30. See, I double check my math every day. I show my work. 4 more movies, and I'm almost positive I know what all 4 movies are. I'm definite on 3, and I'm pretty sure on 4. Tomorrow is another more recent movie. I believe that's what I'm going to watch. Yes, I am. So, my friends, until tomorrow, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing. And here for you is, for your listening pleasure, here is my theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe, 'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.